You have big dreams, lofty ambitions, and a vision of the life you've always wanted to live, but there's a catch. You're not taking action. You know exactly what needs to be done, yet you avoid it, and this avoidance leads to guilt because deep down you know you're capable of so much more. Over time, that guilt builds, stretching across days, weeks, and months. Eventually, until it turns into acceptance. When the new year rolls around, you find yourself revisiting the same goals from the year before. You start off strong, driven by a mix of motivation and a touch of wishful thinking, but before long, procrastination sneaks in, uninvited and persistent, like that one relative who never knows when to leave. What follows is a familiar cycle of avoidance and inaction, leaving you stuck and labeling yourself as someone who's simply lazy. How can we break free from the cycle of procrastination? While countless videos online claim to have the solution, most focus only on the surface level symptoms, suggesting strategies like deleting social media apps or eliminating distractions. While these tactics may offer temporary relief, they fail to address the underlying issue, the true root cause of procrastination. This root cause can be summed up in a single word: inertia. In physics, inertia describes the tendency of objects to remain at rest or in motion unless influenced by an external force. This same principle, outlined in Newton's first law of motion, applies to tasks as well. Getting started on any task, no matter how small, requires that initial push and a burst of energy to overcome the natural state of rest. The problem lies in how we perceive that initial push. We often exaggerate its difficulty in our minds, making the task feel so overwhelming that we avoid it altogether, turning instead to easy, dopamine-driven distractions. To overcome procrastination, we must overcome inertia, and there are two effective ways to do this. Getting started can be the toughest part, so simplify the process by lowering the stakes and taking a small, manageable step. For example, telling yourself, "I need to finish a 5,000-word essay," can feel daunting and paralyzing. Instead, say, "I'll just write 50 words." This smaller, more achievable goal reduces the resistance and makes it easier to begin without needing excessive willpower or discipline. The 2-minute rule is another powerful technique. If you're feeling unmotivated, commit to doing the task for just 2 minutes and then stop if you want. For instance, if you don't feel like cleaning your room, play a song and clean only until it ends. More often than not, once you start, you'll keep going beyond 2 minutes or write more than 50 words. This works because momentum builds naturally. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. At first, it may feel like pushing a ball uphill, but once you overcome that initial resistance, everything becomes easier, like rolling downhill. That's why the first step should always be simple and manageable. Lower the pressure by starting with just 2 minutes. You can use this approach to beat procrastination in any area of life, whether it's exercising, building a side hustle, nurturing relationships, or anything else. As Martin Luther King Jr. put it, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step.